This week on the ride, we make our way to Birmingham, Alabama to the 31st Annual World Deer Expo. I know the best shooter in my family is my mama, but not every lady is Annie Oakley or Calamity Jane. This group takes pride in empowering women to participate in shooting sports with confidence. It is powerful to shoot like a girl. Let's roll. Let's go find the gals that shoot like a girl. Karen. McCoy.
Karen Butler, nice to meet you.
It's good to be here. I've heard a lot about you and shoot like a girl.
Great, well I've heard a lot about you too. I'm glad you stopped by.
Well, show us around.
I fell in love with shooting sports at a very rough time in my life, and what I found when I tried it for the first time is that I suddenly had confidence and I felt empowered and I loved it, and I became a very avid shooter. The thing is, none of my friends would go with me, and so I started Shoot Like a Girl as an idea of how I got more women involved, really selfishly, so I could go have gals to shoot with me. Shoot Like a Girl was a concept in my head for a very long time before it actually came to reality. At that time in the industry, you couldn't go shoot a bow in a shop. They didn't carry bows that were in draw weights and lengths that fit most women. And so I had this idea, if I could carry that inventory for the manufacturers, then I could travel around, introduce women to shooting sports, they would try it like I did, they would love it, and they'd be hooked.
We have a lot of women that come in and are first-time shooters, and they're nervous. You know, walking up the ramp, they're nervous, and we just, you know, we engage them, and we just, you know, we're there to tell them, hey, you know, this is a safe, controlled environment. You know, I'm going to be with you every step of the way. I'm going to teach you, you know, the safe, correct way to do it.
What it allows is for women to come into an atmosphere where they don't feel intimidated. It's instructed by women, so you know, they may not feel as intimidated as they would with their husband or boyfriend, and it gives them an opportunity to try it successfully and learn the right way to do it from the beginning.
The first year, we funded the entire company off of our t-shirt sales, and the manufacturers gave us equipment. And then we proved up, because what we found is when we introduce women to shooting sports, they become participants. And then my 5-year business plan had going into firearms, and this year we launched this great trailer. The trailer is 52 feet long. Inside, a lady can shoot a 9mm, a 40 cal, and a 223 rifle. They can shoot our live archery range.
It's a military-grade firearm simulator, so we have 100% of the weight and 100% of the sound. It's about, I think, 85% of the recoil that you're actually going to feel on the range if you were shooting this live fire. Because it's not live fire, it takes a little bit of the fear factor away, you know, so it creates a more safe environment that women feel like they can come into, but they get a realistic expectation of how the firearm would actually perform if they were on the range with live fire.
This year so far, over 1,200 women we've introduced to shooting sports. What we're doing is giving women an opportunity to have an activity they can do with their families for the rest of your life.
The ladies come up, they're excited about coming into the trailer, they're excited about getting that first quick introduction into shooting sports. So they come to us, they sign in at the kiosk, it takes maybe 2 minutes. We ask them just some short questions. Have you ever shot before? You know, if so, how long it's been? You know, have you shot a firearm before? Have you shot a bow before? And then we send them into one of our NRA certified instructors.
While we're here, we're going to walk you through, this is how you hold it, this is where your pocket of your shoulder is, this is where your hands go, this is how you load a magazine. We get the firearm in their hands and we get them on the target and they squeeze off around. You just immediately see those eyes just light up and they're like, whoa, and you're like, yeah, you got 9 more rounds, let's keep going.
we don't charge women to come in here. I never will. People all the time are like, you know, your business model, you should have Shoot Like a Girl clubs, and you should charge people, you know, $5 a month to join. And that's a method of making income, but it defeats our purpose. Our purpose is to get new shooters involved in shooting sports, and the only way we're going to do that is be safe, controlled, friendly, welcoming environment that doesn't cost them a penny to learn.
Oh yeah, I tell you, when I grew up, I want to shoot just like a girl. How did you get involved in Shoot Like a Girl?
I got involved with Shoot Like a Girl when I met Karen at one of the tournaments that I was shooting, a professional 3D tournament. And I met her, and she was there, had a few bows set up, and would take women that had never shot and teach them how to shoot a bow. And I could see the excitement in her. We would see her at a few tournaments and everything, and you could tell, you know, that it was getting more and more interest. And then she contacted me right before the NFR. When they were going to unveil the trailer. I didn't really have any commitments, so I went out there, and it just, there's no way really to describe the feeling that you get when you do introduce a woman to a sport that she may never have had the opportunity to experience. When someone comes into trial archery and they've never done it before, it's actually exciting to me, because I'm about to witness somebody being empowered to do something like that, you know, and it's just a lot of fun. Hey, come on in. I'm Ginger.
Hannah.
Hannah, nice to meet you. Have you ever shot a bow before?
I have.
Okay. Do you know if did you use your fingers when you drew it back, or did you use a release aid?
I use my fingers.
Awesome. Well, we're going to do something a little bit different here today, and I think you're going to have a good time doing it. First of all, let me have you stand right there. Instead of holding on to the string with your fingers, we're going to let this little hook hold on to the string. It's very similar to squeezing the trigger on a gun, and that's what's going to release the string and let it go. Okay. We're going to use this bow right here. Okay, I want you to stand facing me. I want your feet shoulder width apart. For your bow arm, the one that's going to be holding the bow up, we want you just totally relax with your arms by your side. I want you to look down and notice something right here. You have a natural bend when you're relaxed. This elbow's bent. See how mine's bent just a little bit? Okay. You want to keep that natural bend in your arm, and just like if you're floating in water or you know, something relaxing, just keep that bend and just let your arm slowly float up toward that target. Now put your hand up like you're saying stop. Perfect. Notice this right here. This is exactly how you want your bow arm to look. All right? Your shoulder's low. Your elbow is going this way and not this way. Okay? If you go this way and the shoulder comes up, this gets sometimes between the string, and when it releases and comes down here, it can hit and hurt. Okay? I'm going to make sure we don't do that. Now the bow is going to sit right here. Now on this release aid, this little hook right here, we're going to hook onto the loop of the bowstring. Now Hannah, this is the most important part probably of anything you can learn about shooting a release aid with a bow. Your fingers have to stay behind this trigger at all times until you are on target and ready for it to fire. Okay? Now to draw the bow, this one isn't real hard to draw, but it's still a good idea to use momentum to help draw the bow. If you were just to hold the bow straight out like this and hook and try to draw it straight back, it'd be pretty hard to do. Have you ever picked up a little kid?
Yeah.
Kind of slung them up on your hip?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to use that same idea, kind of using momentum to help draw the bow. So we'll start with it down here. You'll have your release aid hooked to it, and then we're going to draw as we raise. Ready to give it a try? Okay, go ahead and run your hand up through there. Now we're going to start down. You ready? All right, pull it back. Good. Now get your knuckle up there up against your... Perfect. You got it good? You hold them back good? All right. Now lay your finger on that trigger and stretch that rubber band. Perfect. Yes. That was so good. That was so good. How old are you?
12.
If I wasn't so old, I'd be looking for you to come give me some competition in the tournaments, man. That's awesome. Now, the cool thing about these bows is they make all different sizes, things that fit you, things that can grow with you. You can change the draw length and everything, the poundage, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a sport that's been really good to me, and it's exciting to see somebody new give it a try. You got any questions? All right. Well, thanks so much for stopping in.
Thank you for helping us.
You bet. To pass on the ability to shoot a bow and learn correctly and shoot it well and shoot it with confidence, to me, is worth more than any championship I've ever won. Perfect.
I got started in Shoot Like a Girl a couple of years ago. I saw a Facebook post that they were wanting field staff, and so I sent an application for them and was accepted as part of their field staff, and then had an opportunity to go down to Houston to the NRA convention and become a pistol instructor. They asked me to come to Vegas and be an instructor for them whenever they launched into firearms last year, and that was my first outing with them, and we taught 886 women in 10 days, and it was the most amazing experience probably of my life.
Rachel, what's it like when a lady comes up and shoots her very first round?
To share my love of hunting and my enthusiasm for shooting sports with other women is just absolutely something I'm incredibly passionate about. It's so empowering for me even to see them be empowered, to see them fall into that confidence, to see their eyes light up and to smile. So have you ever shot a pistol before?
No.
You have never shot a pistol before. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through how to load it and how everything works, and then show you, how to hold it, proper grip and all that, and then we're gonna get you shooting on the target. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
All right, so anytime we are shooting a pistol, or there's a couple of positions, but we like to stand in the isosceles position, so we're gonna stand with our feet a shoulder width distance apart, okay? And then whenever you pick up the gun, you'll have your arms extended out like this, a slight bend in the hips forward, okay? So what we want to do when we pick up the gun is we're going to make a V with our shooting hand, and we're going to slide the webbing of our thumb and forefinger up the back strap, wrap these 3 fingers around the front of the grip, okay? Remember, in our firearm safety rules, we always keep our finger off the trigger until we're ready to shoot, okay? So this is your magazine. All of your cartridges will be loaded right into here, okay? So what you're going to do is stick it in there until it clicks, okay? So if this hadn't been modified to take our CO2 cartridge, you'd be able to see that top round in the magazine. But you know that you need to get it in the chamber so that you can actually fire it. Good. All right, knuckles around the knuckles, thumbs together. You are ready to fire. You'll have 10 rounds when you're ready. Remember those sights? Line the dots up. Put the middle sight, which is your middle dot, which is your front sight, in the center of the bottom target. Center of the bottom target. You go, girl! All right, that one's a little high and left. Bring it down. There you go. All right, so your slide lock back. So now we need to show a safe firearm. So what are we gonna do? Release that magazine. Yep, magazine's out. So now we can look down through the gun and we can see, oh, there's nothing in the chamber, magazine's out, gun's all clear. How do you like that? Cool, is that pretty awesome? Mm-hmm. Good job. All right, you wanna shoot a rifle?
Sure.
All right, come on. Because this is a pistol grip rifle, you get to make the same V with your shooting hand. You get to slide it at the back of the grip, wrap these 3 fingers around the front of the grip, okay? Remember, this finger stays off the trigger until you're ready to shoot, all right? This hand is just gonna cup like a baby bird, okay? This would be getting hot if it was live fire, so you just wanna kinda make sure your fingers are tucked down away from that, all right? So this is your magazine. Just like the magazine over there, it would have all your cartridges loaded into it just like this. So you're just gonna press it in there till it clicks, okay? Now you need to get the round in the chamber. What I want you to do is close this dust cover, okay? And now we need to charge it. It means put a round in the chamber. We're gonna press this paddle, all right?
Okay.
That charging handle is gonna go forward, put a round in the chamber, all right? You need to have the stability to load this firearm and still point it in a safe direction. And it's kind of heavy, isn't it? So what you can do only while you're loading is you can tuck it underneath your armpit and crank down on it with your shoulder. So now you can still hold this grip, but you can let this hand go so that you can safely load your magazine. See, now you're owning it. All right, we need to close this dust cover. Perfect. So go ahead and push that paddle. This charging handle is gonna go forward, put it around in the chamber. Makes that awesome noise. You're gonna put this orange pin, the top of the pin, in the center of this peak and also in the center of that bottom target down there.
Okay.
Can you do that? All right. If you can do that, then you have 10 rounds whenever you're ready. You may clicker off safety and fire away. And make sure we don't have our fingers up here. There you go. Good. Getting heavy on you. Lean towards that target. Good. All right, you hear that little sound? That means you're empty. So what do we need to do? We need to clicker back on safety. Perfect. And we're going to drop this magazine. Remember, we do that by pushing this button over here on this side. And that magazine drops right out. So now you can see that's open and empty. Magazine's out. Firearms all clear. What do you think? That was cool. Awesome. You did great. All right, we can take our hearing protection off now.
The first time I ever had the opportunity to shoot a firearm, I just remember the total rush of accomplishment, you know, and the empowerment that accomplishment, you know, that sense of accomplishment brought. You know, you can't help but throw your shoulders back, you know, and you can't help but bring that big smile on your face. You know, I did this, you know, and this is something that I can continue to do my entire life.
This year so far, over 1,200 women we've introduced to shooting sports. 67% of those women have gone out and purchased a gun, and 48% of them have gone out and purchased a bow. And so we're actually making a big impact in the industry, but it's so much more than that, because what we're doing is giving women an opportunity to have an activity they can do with their families for the rest of your life. A lot of our men hunt, you know, and hunting is a sport that we have to continue to do so that we don't lose our resources. And hunting, you know, the conservation model, the North American conservation model that gives back so much to conservation efforts, we got to encourage women to hunt as well. And so we have guys that are like, I want my wife to hunt so bad, and she shoots and she loves it, and she's like, I think I could go hunting, you know, just to talk to other women about it. It's a little different. But the men that are standing in the background that are really encouraging and supporting, you know, I couldn't do what I do without the support of my husband, Todd. There's just no way I could have ever done it. And every woman has that kind of person in her life, whether it's a boyfriend, a dad, or a husband.
I have so many quality family memories that have been around shooting sports, has been in the field out hunting. Some of those are my most quality memories. And I see these ladies come in that, you know, their families are right there with them, but maybe they've never taken part in that. And to watch them light up, and to know when they walk down that ramp and they walk off with their significant others, to know that they're going to be able to experience some of those same quality memories is just, you can't put a price on those type memories.
We've had a lot of moments where men were just absolutely blown away at this newfound talent that their wife had. It's difficult sometimes for a guy to talk to a girl or a man to talk to a woman and explain to her how to do something, because we tend to communicate differently and we use different words. And so it's not that men communicate it wrong at all. It's just that because we're different, we use different words to communicate to one another. So whenever you come in here and it's a female on female thing, you know, we get female instructors to a female student, we have that common language and we can communicate in a way that we understand, and it clicks with us. And so now for the first time they're understanding exactly what their husband wanted to do. And a lot of times we have husbands going, I told you the same thing. But it's because we didn't use the same language.
You cannot talk enough about firearm safety. Women out there, you know, we're in the home. We need to know, you know, and the more and more that we grow in the shooting industry, in the outdoor industry, it's very important that we implement firearm safety. You know, not only are we empowered to get out there and do it, but we need to know those basic firearm safety rules in the home.
If women have firearms in their home, if their loved ones have firearms, then they need to be familiar with those firearms and at a minimum know how to check to see if that firearm is loaded or unloaded, and to know how to address it if it is loaded, to disarm it. Safety is very important. So this is a big responsibility, introducing someone to firearms. We don't take it lightly. You know, there's so much negative publicity about firearms in our media and our politicians. We as gun owners have a responsibility to spread the word about safety, and that's one avenue that Shoot Like a Girl can do, because we're all normal people that just love shooting sports. It's a huge responsibility to tell someone, hey, I think you should go buy a gun. But we also then tell them, you need to go get educated on how to use that gun. Our introduction is not an education, it's an introduction. We want people to go find an NRA certified instructor in their hometown, get that instruction, get all the safety gear, store their firearms safely, and do everything they can to be safe, responsible gun owners. That's our responsibility. The more safe, responsible gun owners there are, the more the dialogue in our nation is going to become reasonable, because we're going to be out there advocating for safe, responsible gun ownership. There's a lot of accidents that happen in our nation because people aren't educating the whole family. And so if you bring a firearm into your home, educate your whole family on the safe use of that firearm. Make sure they're aware.
Okay, so you're through shooting. I want you to click it back on safety. Good. Now the magazine release is right here. There you go. And then just turn it to the side so I can see that this is open. All clear?